Hello and welcome to Kamen Rider Black Man. Before getting into this, I want to do a few things. One, kind of want to shout. Ah! And two, today we're doing Kamen Rider Drive. And welcome to Kamen Rider Drive Month. That's right, the whole month of January, it's going to be dedicated to Kamen Rider Drive. And may I say it right now? This was nothing right now. What I'm saying, I'm not stressed out by the show. More or less the process, because Drive Month was almost canceled. Oh my god, Tamir is canceling a video. When has he ever done that before? Ultraman Mebius. But that was for different reasons. Like for this, I've actually been through recording this already twice, and I did not want to stress myself out the fuck anymore. So I thought to myself, cancel it and just do other stuff instead. But I'm not a wuss, and so I'm just going to power through it and let the third time be the charm. To which, by the way, Happy New Year 2019. Awesome. Let's get into this. And so here's how we're going to start 2019. So give me a second to pop up the calendar. So right here, right now, we are doing the show. While next week, the week of the 5th, we will be looking at the Kamen Rider Drive Saga, Kamen Rider Chaser. While on the week of the 12th, we will be looking at the Kamen Rider Saga Kamen Rider Heart / Kamen Rider Mach Saga. Since those two are clashed together, we're going to review them together. And so to extend it out more to an actual month, on the week of the 19th, we will be looking at the Kamen Rider Brain Special. And to wrap up January, then we will be looking at the Surprise Drive movie. So that's what's going to be for the next month. And with that said, and hopefully now I'm relaxed, let's get to the show. Starting off with the opening. This is a great song, really. It's a good song. It gives me energy because, honestly, it gives me drive. It gives me drive to keep moving, just be active, and that opening might as well give me the drive to keep going with this right now. So, now let's actually get to the show. Episode 1, Why Has My Time Stopped? In the year of 2014, there's a phenomenon called the global freeze, where when you get hit by a wave of energy, your perception of time is still going, but time itself is slowed down. This event was caused by the monsters of the show, the Roimutes. And in the danger, we see our future rider, Shinosuke Tamari, fighting crime alongside his partner, Hayase. And once the global freeze hits them, Shinosuke is in the middle of firing a bullet from a gun that he couldn't control, and it ended up shooting Hayase off of a building with metal bars falling after him, hospitalizing him. And so, next to that, we see the collectibles of this season. The shift cars take care of business with the Roimutes. In the first episode, it also reveals something about a certain figure that we'll get into a lot later. And so, 6 months later, Shinosuke has been transferred to the Special Crimes Unit with and is still in the past about what happened to his friend, causing him to be washed out. So, and off the bat, let's talk about the Special Crime Unit members. There's the Chief, and there's Rina. By the way, the Chief's pretty funny, and Rina, we find out in a few episodes later, is the weaponsmith for Drive. There's Kyutaro, he is their computer guy. And next to that is the leading lady, Kiriko, who drags him back to work. Literally, like, that's her introduction. Her dragging his ass back to work to hear that their department sucks. Well, and they're going to be part of a joint investigation with the Metropolitan Police. Aren't we starting off 2020 so right? Anyway, moving on. The next character we meet is the driver, Krim Steinbelt, who Shinosuke thought the entire time was just a random voice in his car, Trideron. Like, dude, he's right there. It's like he's literally right there facing him. Like, he's not playing through the speakers or anything. Although, I don't know, maybe he thought he was a talking speaker. Oh, and Krim forces himself on Shinosuke's weight, since, you know, he's a belt. I don't know, if that happened to me, I'd still prefer consent. Anywho, another crime has been attempted, and at the scene, we meet our next character, Metro Police 1st Division Lieutenant Genpachiro Ota. And I immediately don't like him. Still kind of don't, but I'll get into that later. One, I don't like his face. I think he has like a stupid looking face. And two, he says that he doesn't believe in the slowdown nonsense, which is ridiculous because that had to affected everyone, including him. And then, next thing you know, we then see monsters attacking right in front of him. Dumb fucker. Anywho, so the monster goes after Shinosuke and Krim saves him by summoning shift cars to their aid. Back at the station, Shinosuke puts together an image of the Roymute's human form and is in gear to look him up. Once he finds him, and Krim and the shift cars help him be able to move in the slowdown. But Shinosuke doesn't have confidence in himself, mixed with he's outmatched fighting the Roymutes at once, until Kiriko comes to tell him to transform. He gets the shift brace, finally being able to do so, and Krim makes a speech of how he lost himself a long time ago, and now he can move forward despite of it. So Shinosuke is finally able to transform into Kamen Rider Drive. So, let's talk about his base form, Type Speed. I mean, what? Oh crap, I just realized how low my head was at that moment. Script. Anywho, Type Speed. I mean when I say it, I like this suit. It's sleek. It's actually all pretty good. Not to mention, it's car themed. But I forgot what type of car I think it's based off of, or I'm assuming the type of car Trideron's based off of. But anywho, I like the suit. I like the chest armor. I like the helmet. I like the visor because it's headlights. And not to mention, the driver is pretty good looking too. For one, it's Krim. He's there with him. As well as, it's a good design. And this is such an interesting thing about the belt. But I think it shows how further car theme they took it. The shift brace on his wrist, like that along with the belt works together. And like it gives like a revving up thing. And just, I like it. It's cool. Not to mention, everything on the suit it's fancy and nice. One thing I thought would have been weird was the tire on the chest. But he can still get in his car and move around with it. So, I don't know. I guess the tire doesn't make things too bulky. Alright, so let's talk about the first three shift cars that he gets. Max Flare, Midnight Shadow, and Funky Spike. They make horizontal form changes for drive as tires on his chest and give him unique abilities. Max Flare's firepower, Midnight Shadow is duplication, and Funky Spike is projectile defense. And these aren't the only ones that he gets. They're just examples that need to give out since, tools for saving the world. Anywho, so after his successful first fight, Shinosuke is shown the base of operations, the drive pit, while being shown everything and his new responsibility as drive. But he doesn't think the case is over just yet, and he's right. In episode 2, we now meet our main villains, Heart, Brain, and Chase. Heart is the one in charge, Brain is a general, and Chase is the Grim Reaper of Roymutes. He doesn't kill anybody, he just destroys their forms and reduces them to cores, just so they can start over again. And so, oh crap, they can skip through. Okay, yeah, that's right. At this point of the episode, crap. Sorry, skip through. Crap. Totally forgot. Here we go. And so, let's talk about Machine Chaser, Chase's Roymute form, as well as the monster forms in general, of course. The Machine Chaser form, honestly, it does something in, like, the Chaser movie that I really like, but for right now, it's alright. As for the monster designs in this show, yeah, they're alright. If I was to pick a personal favorite, I think it'd be Heart's, because he's red, he's muscular, and the motif of a heart is like all around. And this is just another thing that just looks interesting to me. Like, because of the character as well as the suit, when they mix together, like, it looks like this form is like unbeatable. Because to literally, it looks like you have to punch this form a bunch of times and really hard just to even scratch him. And so, let's talk about how the Roymutes work for a second. Now, the Roymute from the last episode didn't fully die and was restored to a standard monster form. To which, by the way, other Roymutes that just possess these standard monster forms, they'll either evolve or act as mooks for this show. And so when any Roymute has enough power, they'll evolve into a completely different, stronger looking monster form. Yeah, another way for Roymutes to evolve is to sync with a human host and let whatever emotion or whatever desire fuel them into evolving too. And so, episode 3, this introduces the side story of Protodrive, the Roymute prototype of Drive. Because since before Shinosuke became Drive, Krim created the Roymute after he became a belt and before the global freeze to eradicate the Roymutes. But just spoiling it now, Protodrive was killed by Heart. And one more thing to mention is at the end of the episode, like, it'll actually lead into the next case for the next episode. They stopped doing that after a while, but I liked it. It got me something excited to watch the next episode, just a sneak peek of the next issue that we're gonna face. So, episodes 6 and 9 are when Shinosuke gets his form changes, although 9 is more prevalent to the plot since it's a 3-parter. But in episodes 6 and 9, Drive gets Type Wild and Type Technic. Type Wild I like quite a bit. Like, I just really like I just really like the suit and armor. And Type Technic, I'm alright with it. And an interesting thing that the suits actually do is that they coordinate the tire anywhere with any of the, lateral form changes. With Wild, it's a shoulder pad, and with Technic, it's on the chest as if it was inserted in. But yeah, these forms look good for the most part. Actually, quite like the shade of green that's used for Technic. It's a good shade of green, in my opinion. And so, here we go. And like what I said, Technic's debut is a 3-parter. The first one features Technic. The third episode is the conclusion. But the second part of it is Drive and Heart's first encounter with each other, where Krim reveals more of his backstory. Now, Krim was the scientist who was half responsible for the Roymutes. He fully created the shift cars by himself. They're his creations. But the Roymutes were created by his former colleague, Banno Tenjiro. Now, before the Roymutes were finished, Banno needed one final thing to activate them, and they were core drivers of Krim's, to awaken his first 3, heart and brain included. But once they were activated, they rebelled and killed their creator and Krim. But thank God, before Krim fully died, he downloaded his consciousness into the drive driver. And so you understand why Krim is scared to all death to facing, Heart, because he's looking at the face of his murderer. And so, once Heart and Krim and Shinosuke meet each other, Shinosuke gives it straight that he doesn't want to run away from a fight and faces Heart head on. And may I say, their first fight with each other is one heck of a match. It's a mix of takedown moves, but on the other hand, they're just straight up brawling, throwing and pinning each other just to straight punch each other out. It's pretty good. Yeah. The fight reaches its conclusion once Heart is super hyped, in a sense of place called the Dead Zone, where he overheats and imagines seeing that in real life. He just turns literally all red. He literally just turns all red and starts steaming. This is the real dude you don't want to face. And this goes on into the next episode too. Heart has Drive by the collar, and Drive goes for the heart. He literally goes for his heart. And they both just go at it with each other, trying to see who will outlast who. And then it reaches its inclusion once Chase jumps in to save both parties, because then an explosion happens and everyone's fine, but Heart's takes a lot more damage. Oh, speaking of which, at the end of this episode, the Monster of the Week's plan didn't go to waste, because the backup electricity that they had went to reactivating another Roymute general, Medic. And so, as for Chase, he's revealed to be Roymute number 000. What does that mean? We don't know yet. But for now, episode 12, where did the White Kamen Rider come from? It's funny how Kamen Rider originated from Japan, yet we still brought it to America. Well, episode 12 introduces our secondary rider, Kamen Rider Mach. So, let's talk about his suit. Mach's suit, in my opinion, it's pretty interesting. It gives sort of the jumpsuit kind of feel to it. The rest of the suit feels like a jumpsuit, while the upper half feels like, chest armor and whatnot. But yeah, it's a good design. So, Kamen Rider Mach is a man named Go Shijima, who turns out to be Kiriko's little brother. He became a Kamen Rider in secret and moved to America to train under Krim's teacher by Professor Harley. Go became a Kamen Rider for reasons I'll extrapolate upon later. And Kamen Rider Mach, he actually has a similar AI system to the shift cars, the signal bikes, as well as one more detail. The Mach suit doesn't have a time limit per se, but he can't stay transformed for long because it will strain his body.
追跡撲滅いつでもマッハー仮面ライダー